So a lot of police officers think they're above the law, and that gives them the right to behave however they want. Today we're talking about entitled police officers who have gone too far in their behavior. Let's go to the videos. Two female officers approached a man exercising his constitutional rights by filming in public. However, one of them mistakenly claimed that filming in public is a crime, showing a complete lack of understanding of citizens' constitutional rights. The man humorously mentioned educating them about the law, which he rightfully could have. The female officer struggled to respond to the man's questions, resorting to repetition as if buying time to formulate an answer. At the very least, they acknowledged the necessity of providing their name and badge number, a fundamental aspect that not all police officers are aware of. The situation took an unfortunate turn when one of the female officers declared that the man was no longer free to move and was thus being detained.
I was wondering if you gave them a little education today. That public photography is not a crime. Did you let them know that?
Public photography is not a crime?
It's not a crime.
You are correct. You're on their property.
But I've never been on their property. I've been on a public sidewalk or something.
That's not what they're saying.
Well, I have it all on tape. Body cam and camcorder. So,
Body cam.
did you see me on their property?
Did I see you on their property?
Yes.
No, I
Okay, so what they're saying is hearsay. And I have my proof.
didn't. Sir?
What's that? May I ask how you pronounce your last name then?
My
Knobloch?
name is Officer Knobloch.
Canabla?
This is the deal.
2330. And what's yours? You don't have a name tag? Evans?
My name's tag's right there.
There it is. And what's your badge number?
2053.
Okay, cool.
Now, what's your name?
Am I being detained or am I free to
What's
go?
your name, sir? You're being detained.
What am I being detained for?
Please answer this officer's
I
question.
don't answer questions. So, am I being detained or am I free to go?
No, you're not free to go here.
Well, what am I being detained for?
Because I haven't explained to you why.
Well, I don't need any explanations.
The situation escalated further when one of the female officers had to make up a reason for detaining the man. She asserted that an establishment had called and complained about someone filming their building and gave a description that matched this man. However, the fact remained that the man had never set foot on their property. He had been on the sidewalk the entire time, capturing everything within his view, which legally gave them no grounds to intervene.
Sir, I'm doing my job.
I'm doing my job as well.
Sir, we have a complaint. We're taking care of that complaint, and you're a part of that complaint.
What crime am I being suspected of committing?
You were asked to leave the property.
I've never been on their property.
This is the deal, okay? I was called out here along with this officer because you were allegedly photographing their establishment.
I was.
And when you were asked to leave, you refused.
I've never been on their property, so they cannot ask me to leave a public sidewalk.
Until I have ascertained what exactly is going on here, you will remain here until I conclude my investigation.
Well, until then, what crime am I being
Just
suspected of committing?
because you claim to have never been on their property does not mean
What
that
crime
you
am I being suspected of committing?
possibly trespassing.
Possibly. Okay, but is that for sure? Is that a for sure? Am I being unlawfully detained here? Because without a crime, I cannot.
again.
I am not.
Adding to the absurdity, another female officer attempted to justify their actions by claiming they had a complaint against the man, thereby making him part of their investigation. They even threw in an accusation of trespassing. It seems like someone missed the lesson on trespassing during police training. No one can reasonably suspect trespassing if the person remains on the sidewalk, which is public property, right? The female officer seemed to misunderstand their true role, believing they were just doing their job, which wasn't entirely accurate. Their duty was to serve the people and foster a sense of security among citizens. Instead, they were trampling on their constitutional rights.
We have a complaint.
Okay.
You're part of that complaint.
Okay.
So therefore, we are speaking with you about that complaint. Do you
Okay.
understand that?
I don't answer questions.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. I'm glad you understand that. So, what crime am I being suspected of committing? Again, well, I haven't heard a crime. I've heard possibly.
Criminal trespass.
That's
That
what.
is a crime.
That's what I'm being.
That you're being investigated for.
Okay, well, until you figure that out, am I being detained or am I free to go?
No.
Well, I'd suggest you guys go figure that out instead of fucking with me. I'm out here.
You are a part of that.
I'm out here doing my job.
What is your job?
I am out here gathering content for a story for possible publication.
Okay. And we are also doing our job.
Okay.
So,
So why don't you give me an articulate, reasonable suspicion why I'm being detained?
And we've already done that.
No, you have not.
Yes, we have.
Just because it doesn't satisfy your
Despite lacking any evidence, the two female officers adamantly insisted that the man was somehow guilty of trespassing. The man tried to explain to them in vain, as the officers seemed unable to comprehend. They operated under the assumption that they were above making mistakes, shutting down any possibility of clarification. To escalate matters, they threatened to arrest the man for obstructing the police. In addition to their confusion about trespassing, they seem largely unaware that obstructing the police was a secondary offense. To be charged with obstructing the police, one must first be arrested for a legitimate crime and then refuse to provide identification.
I've been on a public sidewalk the whole time. I suggest you go get the security camera then.
We're working on it.
Well, go get it. Why you messing with me? I haven't broken a law yet. So until then, I don't have to answer your questions.
We have not determined that.
Well, go determine it. Until you determine it, then I'm unlawfully detained.
No.
And you guys got about 10 minutes to figure this out before I go ahead
Is that correct?
and walk away. Yes. You have not established a crime that I have
Be charged
committed.
with obstructing.
You haven't. No. You have to. If I obstructed, you have to have a crime for me to obstruct.
Trespass is the crime.
I haven't trespassed.
Then we don't
Do you
want
have
it.
proof that I've trespassed?
We're working
Well, then work on it and then hit me back up, because I'll be walking up and down the sidewalk.
We're going to stand here.
I don't need to be cooperative. I'm minding my own business out here. I'm gathering the content that I need.
Sir, that you like poke sticks.
Well, no. I'd like to be left alone. I like to be left alone.
Once we determine exactly what's going on here, you will be left alone if you have not committed a crime.
The two officers not only unwillingly detained the man, but also breached his personal space. Unbeknownst to them, there's a rule that requires officers to maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from unarmed citizens to avoid creating a sense of danger. Ignoring this, the two armed female officers approached the man too closely, keeping their hands in their pockets throughout. Feeling threatened, the man requested that they keep their hands out of their pockets to assure him that no harm would come to him.
So you're gonna unlawfully detain me here.
Not unlawfully being detained.
Can you please not walk up
Sir,
behind
it's a
me?
free sidewalk. I have
You're
a right
right.
to stand
You're
either
right.
way.
You're right. Just
Is that
don't walk up
correct?
behind me, please. And
I didn't walk
can
up
you take your
behind
hands
you.
out of your pockets, please?
Nope.
Please. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Can you take your hands out of your pockets, please? No?
You can clearly see my weapon. You can clearly see my taser.
Yeah, I just don't like your hands in
My
your
hand
pockets.
is not near
And I
you.
definitely don't like your hands in your pockets. So am I allowed to put my hands in my pockets?
We have not determined that you do not have a weapon.
Well, we don't need to determine anything. You don't even have probable cause to stop me.
Yes.
No, you do not.
You've already explained.
Can I get a supervisor? Can I get a supervisor, please?
111, this gentleman is requesting a supervisor to see. We just made a call.
Excuse me, Mark. When you...
Sir, let my...
I'm allowed to talk if I need to talk.
Not while she is talking to him.
When she's talking to him, I'm talking to Mark.
Attempting to engage in a reasonable conversation with these two female officers proved impossible. Frustrated, the man requested a supervisor, expressing his unwillingness to converse with individuals seemingly less informed than him. Disregarding this, the officers insisted that the man had to cooperate as they were in the midst of an investigation. They're always in the middle of an investigation. The question loomed, what if they were mistaken? Even if they did receive a call, proper procedure dictated an investigation to determine guilt before resorting to detainment. Blindly trusting every report can lead to baseless actions like this.
I've already asked that you remain quiet until this is...
I don't need to remain quiet.
You've already said
I'm a
that you
free
don't have to answer
citizen.
questions or you
You're
don't
right,
have
I
to
don't.
talk. So please exercise that right.
No.
Thank you.
I'm allowed to speak as well.
Once she's finished, you can speak.
No. Because this detainment is unlawful. You and I both know that.
No, I don't.
Yes, we do. There has been no crime. Because there has been no crime committed. And when you showed up, I was on a public sidewalk.
Doesn't mean that you are always here.
Well, then I suggest you find out that I wasn't.
That's what we're working on
Well,
right
then I'd work a little harder before you detain me. You're about 5 minutes from catching a lawsuit.
Is that right?
Yes. Unlawful
Go right ahead.
detainment.
Go right
You're
ahead.
violating my rights right now. You're impeding my free movement.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Because of
I'm
an
unlawfully
investigation.
detained.
Because of an investigation.
Well, then get investigating and come
Now.
back to me when you have proof. When
This
you
is-
have evidence that I trespassed, then go ahead. But until then, I have evidence that I didn't. And you are unlawfully detaining me. You and I both know that. And when your supervisor gets here, he'll let you know as well. Until you have proof that I have stepped on that property, you have no right to detain me.
Okay, this is
I
not-
should be able to walk up and down the sidewalk, which I pay for, and film whatever I can see.
One of the female officers presented the man with options while they were waiting for a supervisor. However, the man, unwilling to cooperate with what he perceived as unprofessional officers, insisted that they either leave him until the supervisor arrived or release him. Growing impatient, he warned that if they didn't comply within 5 minutes, he would call his lawyer. Unhappy with having their authority challenged, one officer became visibly frustrated and escalated her behavior, shouting at the man to be silent. However, she had no authority to suppress someone's right to free speech.
This is how we're going to proceed.
No, this isn't how we're going to proceed. Then we're going to stand here until your supervisor gets here.
That's quite fine with me. This is how we're going to proceed. If we have determined that you were never on their property.
No, this is what I'm going to determine. If you don't let me go in 5 minutes, I'm calling my
That's a
lawyer.
hold of you, sir.
We're
What's
now,
that?
We're now waiting for the supervisor that you requested.
No, you have me detained, and if I walk away, I will be arrested.
Sir, you just told me I was standing here with my hands in my pockets. Is that correct?
Yep, and I got
And
my one.
you requested a supervisor, is that correct?
I
While
did.
I was talking to these gentlemen?
I did.
So therefore, at this point, we're waiting on the supervisor. If you don't wish to wait on the supervisor, by all means, now you can go ahead and walk
No,
down the
actually,
front.
I've got one more thing I need to say.
Well, I don't care what you have to say. I don't need to listen to you. So I'm being detained so you can tell me something?
Apparently, we have determined that you were not on their property.
Exactly.
Okay, now, this is what I will say.
No, I don't need any
If you want
instructions.
to-
I am free to film.
Sir!
This encounter just goes to show the problem with cops, who believe they're above the law and entitled to unchecked authority. Wearing a uniform doesn't grant them extra powers. It simply denotes their role as a police officer. Unfortunately, aggressive behavior is not uncommon among such individuals. In this instance, one of the female officers resorted to threatening the man, insisting that if he walked away, despite being detained without reason, he would face arrest. These threats were futile, as the man, fully aware of his rights, patiently awaited the arrival of the supervisor and had no intention of yielding to unjust demands.
No, we don't need to talk anymore.
You will keep in motion back and forth.
Is that the law?
Otherwise, you will be arrested for loitering.
Oh,
You
for
understand?
loitering.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm allowed to. I have been walking up and down the sidewalk.
Right.
And I can stop to take my pictures. And I can keep on moving. And you are not. And if you arrest me for loitering, then we really will have a big lawsuit.
Well, we will determine that at the
Okay,
time.
you guys are dismissed. Go ahead. See ya. Have a good day.
Do you not? You
No,
no
you're
longer,
dismissed.
Sir, you can go ahead and put your sticks
You're
down
dismissed.
somewhere, please.
Do you no longer want the
Go ahead,
supervisor?
No, I'll wait for him.
All right, well
Okay, then we're gonna
all
wait
gonna
with
wait
No,
with you.
we'll wait right here.
In an unfair turn of events, two female officers approached and detained the man without any evidence to support their actions. A mere phone call should not serve as grounds for such actions, as police officers are mandated to operate within the confines of the law and not autonomously. The most concerning aspect is their assertion that they had explained the man's detention, a fabrication contradicted by the existence of a video that clearly demonstrates otherwise. When repeatedly pressed for his name, the man comedically responded by suggesting that they call him boss, highlighting the fact that as a taxpayer, he is their employer and in essence, their boss. They work for the public, including him.
Do you know why we detain people?
And we've already told you.
No, do you know why? Do you know why you have the right?
To go ahead and go.
Do you know when it's right to detain somebody? When you have a reasonable
Sir, you do not
Articulate.
wish to speak with me. You do not wish to speak
Suspicion
with me. You wish to
of
speak
a
with
crime.
A supervisor. So therefore, I'm going to stop
Okay.
this conversation.
No, well, you don't have to talk back, but I can talk all I want. I like to poke my stick. You guys came and approached me. I didn't approach you.
Because we received a call.
I don't care what you received. Well, did you have evidence that I committed a crime?
Our reasonable
Did you have evidence that I committed a crime?
based on the call that we received.
Well, that wasn't evidence. Then I suggested you should have went and talked to them and asked them first before you came over and detained me unlawfully. I know it hurt your feelings, but you're not the boss of me. I am the boss of you two.
You attempt to be the bigger person.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, you can call me boss. You two are dismissed. You don't have to
We've
sit
already
here.
covered that. We're going to remain here
Well-
until the sergeant gets...
If you're looking to get under a police officer's skin, just declare yourself their boss. A surefire way to get on their nerves. The man, well aware of his rights, informed the officers that he could wait for the supervisor alone, but they insisted on waiting with him. Seizing the opportunity, the man filled the passing time by expressing his satisfaction, anticipating that these two female officers would become the main stars of the internet once he uploaded the video. While one officer appeared to reconsider her decision to assert authority, the diehard had already been cast.
I can sit here and wait for the sergeant without you.
That's not how it works.
Oh, it's not?
You requested a sergeant,
Oh,
and we will
okay.
remain here until that
Well,
sergeant
we'll
gets
remain
here.
right here.
Until you say otherwise. If
We'll wait right here.
Cancel that, Sergeant? Then
No, we're gonna wait right here.
I'll be on our way.
We're gonna wait right here so we all get an education today.
Very well.
By the way, you guys are live streaming right now. You guys are probably gonna be awesome YouTube stars. You know, females always get riled up. Miss Knobble, whatever your name is. You know, you got real riled up. You don't like it when people talk back to you when you have no lawful reason to stop me and detain me. That's my biggest issue. You had no lawful right to do that. You don't even care. You can care less. You should have pulled in here, asked them, was he on your property? Once they said no, you should have said, well, public photography is not a crime. He is free to do so. And then, on top of all this, then you want to threaten me with a loitering charge? Get out of here with that. That's ridiculous.
I explained the law.
That's ridiculous.
At last, the long-awaited supervisor arrived, and to everyone's surprise, she turned out to be a female who mirrored the behavior of the two earlier officers. Much like her subordinates, the supervisor attempted to evade the camera, seemingly opposed to being recorded. The man, undeterred, asked for her name and badge number, prompting an ironic smile from the supervisor. She reluctantly introduced herself, giving the impression that she did so only because she knew she was being filmed and wanted to avoid appearing unfavorably on camera.
Is that the supervisor?
Yes, it is.
On average, how many people do you harass a day? Sir, or do you sit and collect? Hello. Real quick, name, badge number? Tosca?
Yep.
And what was the badge number? 2385. May I ask you not to walk behind me?
Okay, well, I don't want that put into my face.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm
Well,
sorry.
here, I'll set it right here. Okay.
The trio didn't linger. The supervisor pressed for a swift departure, recognizing their failure to de-escalate the situation. The man seized the moment, asserting that all three were lacking as law enforcement officers. He urged them to take this opportunity to better educate themselves about their responsibilities and roles in law enforcement.
Keep walking. You guys are dismissed. You have a good day. Go ahead and collect and harass some citizens.
Just keep walking.
Oh, go ahead. And you don't get to talk to me. Just keep on working. Go ahead. Go ahead. See ya. Bye-bye. Stay warm. Get educated. Today's the day. You get educated. You don't need to harass citizens.
This encounter began when a woman parked in her car on a public street and a cop approached her as if she had committed a big offense. It seemed the cop either believed he had unchecked authority or was convinced that he could act without restraint. The officer asserted that he received a call alleging that the woman was camping in her vehicle in front of someone's house. However, rather than resolving the situation, the cop seemed to be infringing upon the woman's rights protected by the First Amendment, implying she couldn't be wherever she wanted in a public space.
I don't answer questions. Can I get your name and badge number?
It's Officer Spencer,
And your badge number?
90719.
And do you have a card?
No.
Okay,
Can I ask why you're parked here?
you can.
And your answer would be
Is there a problem with it?
yes.
Okay.
Somebody's called and said that it appears that you're camping in your vehicle. So,
Okay.
Rochelle, yes?
I don't answer questions.
So I have to, but you can't?
You do have to, yes.
Oh,
You work for the public.
okay. Right.
Right. And I'm practicing my First Amendment rights. And I have a right to be here. This is a public street. So actually, you're violating my rights at the moment.
I didn't violate anybody's rights.
Yes, you are.
We're just talking.
No, I don't sit here to talk to you.
What happened? What happened that you're so hostile towards police?
What happened?
Yeah.
I don't answer questions.
I mean, did you get wrongfully accused of something or what? Because I haven't been mean to you at all.
Well, right now I have two friends that are sitting in jail for absolutely nothing.
For absolutely nothing?
Zero.
Oh,
For doing what I'm doing right now. recording the police, which is their First Amendment.
The woman clarified to the police officer that she was simply a granny with her own YouTube channel documenting how law enforcement reacts when citizens exercise their right to film police officers. She shared her concerns, citing instances where her friends faced legal consequences for simply filming the police. She emphasized that honest taxpayers who contribute to police salaries deserve to be treated appropriately. However, it seemed the cop was indifferent to her explanation.
But in Texas, they don't respect us like you do. They arrested him. And so, yeah, I'm upset about it. I'm about ready to go down there if they don't let him out.
Okay.
I'm the California-grown granny. I have a YouTube channel. I fight for people's rights. My rights, yes, have been violated. Looks like you have a... And a lot of people's rights have. I'm sure you know people whose rights have been violated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
All
know...
these mandates with vaccinations and stuff.
Yeah, it's overboard. It needs to stop.
I agree.
And people calling like that
That
about...
is something that we agree on,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, well, I'm sure we agree with a lot of things.
It's Lassett Richards, correct?
I don't answer questions.
But I'm not wrong, though, right?
I couldn't tell you. You can guess.
I'm going to assume it is. Yeah. Out of San Luis?
I come out of heaven.
A no answer.
I come
is
from
like
God.
It's kind of like a good answer, right?
I come from the place you do.
So what are you doing?
Well,
What are you doing down here in Santa
There
Maria?
is an emergency over there.
While the cops claimed to be on duty, the reality was that he was spending his time addressing a granny who was filming in a public space. Throughout this encounter, the possibility of various crimes occurring elsewhere without investigation remained. Though the officer acknowledged he couldn't harass the granny for exercising her right to film, he attempted to accuse her of camping in public. However, it was evident that the granny wasn't camping, as she even presented a paid parking ticket. The officer fell silent, realizing he had chosen the wrong person to confront that day.
Especially if I'm getting calls for service for you.
You ought to go watch that thing. Look,
Yeah,
I think it's dirty, man.
I'm busy dealing with...
I know,
With this.
wasting your time. You could be washing your taxpayer's vehicle. But instead,
but I
these
gotta do
neighbors
this?
over here, yeah, oh, you're taking out the thing. See, there's some emergencies going on.
Medical. Yep.
But yeah, I am actually working on some things. So
Well,
the First Amendment, people's rights to express themselves through freedom of press, religion, and whatnot.
well, just so you have all the information, here in Santa Maria, the city of, we do have municipal codes that say that there's no overnight camping or camping in public. So, just so you have that information.
Just so you know,
you'll need to move along.
with all due respect, their municipal codes don't trump my constitutional rights as a disabled 62-year-old grandmother.
Okay.
So there's not a whole lot, I mean, they could put up street signs like parking for 1 hour over here in a residential area.
Correct.
And what they're doing is, this is residential.
Correct.
That's illegal to put those signs up there. Besides, they're turning residential public streets into private property, which is totally against the law. So those signs there will not, they won't work in court. I mean, I have a parking ticket right in there that I'm getting ready to have dismissed.
Okay.
Because they gave me the parking ticket on a day when the courts were closed. And the signs say that it doesn't apply on weekends or holidays. So if the court was closed, then,
Well,
But yeah, these people need to learn their rights so they don't call you and waste your time, Like these people over here, somebody might have died. That could be their very last day.
so what's the plan for the rest of the day?
A man chose to identify himself as a butterfly, exploring public buildings and filming himself mimicking the act of flapping his imaginary wings to gauge people's reactions to his exercise of freedom of speech and expression. Upon reaching the police station, he encountered a female officer who, without any greeting, asserted that he should leave if he had no purpose. However, the man was in a public space, and the female officer has no grounds to charge him with trespassing. When another cop inquired about the situation at the police station, a woman at the counter falsely claimed that the man, a self-proclaimed butterfly, was going to restricted areas and filming, which was entirely untrue. The man visited places accessible to citizens, and the objection seemed to stem from his chosen persona as a butterfly.
Come on, man.
What's that?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Do you have a reason that you're standing in here right now?
Oh, well, you seem a little bit aggressive.
No, I'm not being aggressive. I'm being forward.
No, you came up to me very aggressive.
Okay, so they asked you to leave. You can stand outside and do whatever you want outside. Okay, but you can't be in here. Okay, you have no purpose for here.
Oh, yeah, I do.
No, what's your purpose then?
But you assumed I didn't have a purpose before you even asked.
Okay, because they've already told me what's going on. So what is your purpose for being here?
But as an officer, you're supposed to investigate both sides of the story.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you. What are you here for?
But you weren't investigating both sides at first.
I'm asking you right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm just doing my butterfly boy business. I'm with the Free Press.
Okay.
So, yeah, just looking at some stuff and then I'll be out soon.
Out soon? Okay, so you got your little whatever that is. So
Oh, yeah, it's about Charlestown.
okay.
and
Okay, so you
John
have your pamphlet. They asked you to leave. Okay, so you need to leave.
Okay, but
You-
but I'm with the Free Press though. I'm just doing butterfly boy stuff.
You're trespassing. You have no reason to be here, standing in here. They asked you to leave, so you need to leave.
Oh, okay. But isn't this a publicly owned building?
Yeah, but if you have no business to be here,
Oh, I do.
then you need to leave.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing butterfly boy press. Hey, officer, how are you? Hey, how are you, officer? I'm saying hi, officer. How are you?
What's going on?
I'm saying hi to him. He's
He
not
has
even
no business to
responding.
conduct in the city. He's going around in places that are not accessible to the public, and he's filming everyone and just flapping around.
The only factual element in this entire scenario was the man's unconventional behavior of flapping his wings near public buildings. However, the police, seemingly disturbed by this nonconformity, chose to assert authority as if they were above the law, bringing handcuffs with the intention of arresting him for no legitimate reason. At least he got to be a butterfly that day.
Flapping around.
What are
like
you
that.
doing here?
Sir, you didn't even say hi to me. You came in very aggressive.
What are you doing here?
Can you say hi to me first?
No, what are you doing here?
I just want to say hi.
Leave.
No, it's a public
You want
building.
a citation for trespassing?
No, but it's
Okay,
not.
then you need to leave. Okay.
Oh, but I'm still
I'm being
doing-
very nice. I'm sure they were nice to you
No,
to tell you to
guys
leave.
are being very aggressive with my
Oh, I'm not being aggressive.
You guys are being very aggressive with my
Oh, I'm not being aggressive.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. I
He
see.
doesn't have a...
Your eye contact is very aggressive.
All right,
My eye.
let's go, come on.
Okay, come on.
But I'm
Time to leave. Let's go. Come on.
Business.
No, I don't want that. Go.
But
You're gonna be in handcuffs in a minute. Let's go.
No, officer.
You've been given an order to leave.
I'm just with the
No,
Free Press.
we're done talking.
Why
Out.
are you yelling at me right
Come on.
Because you're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. So walk out.
now? You're being very aggressive. No, I'm just shutting.
Do you want to go to jail?
I don't know
Is that what you wanted to say?
No, I don't
You
know.
want a citation? Then you need to leave.
Come on, this way.